Discussions regarding the Book of Enoch typically center on the same dark imagery: towering giants, forbidden angels, and ancient wars involving the Nephilim. Fixating on these creatures obscures the highly organized structure of the writing itself. When analyzed as a complete work, the text describes a rigid sequence of information rather than random supernatural visions. This is a literal incident report, documenting a historical systemic failure. It provides a tangible account of an environment falling out of balance. To understand why the ancient world required a catastrophic reset, we must analyze the structural systems that collapsed, rather than searching for magical villains. The narrator functions as an auditor. He is guided through a massive, functioning architecture, receiving the training necessary to comprehend exactly how the mechanism operates. The text operates as a forensic postmortem. It looks backward from a state of total worldly collapse to identify the precise moment the architecture began to fail. Enoch records a massive volume of technical data: the movement of the heavens, the hierarchy of the stars, and the specific administrative processes of judgment. This documentation served a single purpose: to diagnose the exact anomaly that caused the structural integrity of the human world to break down. The text defines the universe as a highly regulated administrative machine. Every element functions according to fixed, immutable laws. Time is actively managed. The sun and the moon must travel through strictly assigned gates, following a pattern that keeps the celestial schedule on track. This mechanical precision applies to every celestial body. The moon follows a specific route, maintaining a cycle that holds the universe in place. The central theology relies on order. When the divine command says, "Let there be light," it translates functionally to "let there be structure." Because the heavens operate as a flawless administrative system, the corruption had to originate from a rogue variable introduced on Earth. If the machine was perfectly balanced, we must identify the catalyst that caused it to crash. The evidence points away from the presence of giants. The text identifies the corrupting agent as the unauthorized introduction of advanced information by the Watchers. This began with metallurgy and the creation of advanced weaponry. The sudden material emergence of these tools changed how humanity engaged with the physical world. This was followed by systems of astrology, advanced craftsmanship, and specific chemical and aesthetic practices that totally reshaped human perception. This information arrived faster than the existing human societal structure could safely absorb or regulate. The imbalance between capability and stability became the primary turning point. Injecting these concepts into an unprepared population acted as a virus, destabilizing the world's established programming until the system reached a breaking point. Human behavior and capability mutated in response to the data influx. These shifts changed the fundamental balance of how life on Earth functioned. Foundational boundaries were breached. Separate domains, the divine, the natural, and the human, began to improperly interact, mixing elements that were designed to remain distinct. Once these natural divisions were compromised, the structural load of reality could no longer be maintained. The system collapsed into chaos. The apocalyptic flood functions as an emergency hard reset. It was a mechanical necessity triggered because the environment reached a state of total structural failure. To observe these failures, Enoch had to abandon his localized perspective. He stepped back far enough to view the breakdown from outside the human level, focusing on the systems that shape history. The text provides a diagnosis that persists through time. Civilization does not fall because of supernatural evil, but because of unchecked imbalance. The greatest threat to any society is disorder, the inevitable collapse that occurs when foundational boundaries are crossed and the system is allowed to fall out of balance.